Right, hi ladies and gentlemen, and thanks again for watching one of these videos. My name's Stephen Jakes from Healing the Mind, and today I've got a great video to do here with Emmaline Kemp. Now, Emmaline is the proprietor and owner of Green Room Health, and she's been kind enough to give up her time today to do a little video to tell us a little bit about her journey and her healing journey and how that's created herself to have a better life. So I won't go on any further, so let's bring Emmaline in. So hello Emmaline, how are you doing? Thanks for giving up your time today. Really do appreciate it.
Of course.
And to, you know, obviously to share your information with the people that are watching and what's possible for them and how it's actually impacted your life and how it's improved your life by doing this type of work. So I guess really before we crack on, let's find out a little bit about you. So so tell us about who you are and what you've done in the past and where you are now, and just tell us a little bit about Emmaline and give us an idea of who you are.
Okay. So I'm a dancer and always have been.
Yeah.
So I started, as you do, growing up in a small village outside of Tunbridge Wells in Kent. And I started dancing because my sister did.
Okay, right.
7 years older, I admired her very much. And she not long after went into horses and that kind of thing. And I don't enjoy the thought of falling off a horse, so I thought I'd carry on dancing.
Right, okay.
And I seemed to have a flair for it, so much so that I ended up joining youth companies and so on. And from that encouragement, my mum signed me up to apply for a scholarship at a ballet school. Full-time ballet school, managed to get a scholarship, several grants, thanks to my clever mum applying for them. And that was me. So it was full-time training. So you'd have like English, maths, ballet, lunch, bit of art, and then jazz. Yeah. So my day was filled with dancing, essentially, with my GCSE and A-level slotted in between where I could get them in. Yep. And from then on in, I seemed to have... I did ballet. It was a ballet school, and we did all the other styles, including flamenco, which was really fun. But I went to contemporary dance school after that. From 18 to 21, I did a degree in contemporary dance at London Contemporary Dance School.
And where's that? Is that in London?
That's in London, near Euston. It's one of the top conservatoires. My teacher guided me towards that because it's a well-established degree.
Yeah. Well-recognised degree.
Well-recognised, yes, exactly. And it was... really creative, really fun, lots of rolling around on the floor, learning how to fall without hurting ourselves and jumping back up again, continuing to do ballet, but without the dreadful point work, which was just, this is a point shoe in my mind, which was terribly painful when you've got soft skin on your feet. So I was very glad to roll around barefoot. And after that, after finishing my degree, I went and freelanced and performed with various choreographers, music festivals, music videos, dance for film videos and so on. So it was all really lovely and creative and fun, which led me towards working with children and adults of all abilities, ages, including people with varying learning abilities and so on. It was really good fun. Yeah. And I was working with... this brings us on to why I eventually came to you, I believe. I was working with a loop dance company who were in Medway, and we were involved in a motorway pile-up in the snow. So this is one of the reasons I got into Pilates, which is what I do now. I teach mindful movement. Because we were in a motorway accident that really threw my shoulder, my back and my neck out of alignment, and I was in a lot of pain for a very long time. Had PTSD, didn't know it at the time. Right, yeah. And part of my rehabilitation was obviously physio, but I joined Pilates classes and started doing it, and then I decided to train in it since I was spending so much time doing it.
Okay, so that's how Green Room Health now has been established. And how long have you been doing that? How long have you established that?
10 years I've been teaching Pilates. This accident was 12 years ago, so it's definitely been a journey. I only realised it the other day. I went, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for a decade.
Yeah. So obviously the road accident really changed your whole career and put you into what you're doing now.
It really did.
Yeah. And you enjoy what you do?
I love my job.
Great. Excellent. So that's a little bit about Emmaline. And so I guess really, so you said you come to see me because obviously you had that road accident. And that was obviously 12 years ago. So were you suffering for 12 years? Are you in pain for 12 years? What was going on for you?
Like for a year thereabouts before I went to see the doctors, and they sent me off to the mental health team, and then they assessed me and said, "Oh, I don't know what's wrong with you." And then they actually went, "Hang on a minute, what was your childhood like?" I was like, "It was brilliant. I grew up in the countryside, growing fruit and veg, and like learned all these gorgeous things, and yet there were childhood traumas there that I just completely discounted because you make things normal."
Yeah, you normalise them, you make things okay that aren't okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which we'll come on to in a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't initially come to see you for the PTSD because I thought I'd had it fixed already. We'll get into that later. But it was because of a friend referring me and some other things. So.
Yeah, so you come. So what were your symptoms? So you had problems.
So I had low level of what I thought was low level anxiety and stress. I'm a mum, so I've got 2 children, 5 and 8, 2 girls, and so I think juggling my work, mum life, and then what was happening with this pandemic situation just made me feel quite anxious.
Yeah.
And then that was exacerbated when I was feeling a lot of pain with my periods, unbelievable pain, nothing like I'd experienced before after having my second child.
Yeah.
Extremely heavy, very unusual. Went and finally got assessed and an ultrasound scan and everything. And I got the news that I had fibroids and polycystic ovaries. Yeah. And that was a real shock, and yet a relief to have a name for what I was experiencing.
You give it a label and everything makes it okay.
I know, and then they took me and said, "This is what you've got. Would you like to go on the pill? Would you like to have some hormonal intervention?" I said, "No, thank you very much. I'm fine." So I went to a networking event that I go to with some lovely women, and one of the ladies there that I'm friends with gave me your card and said, "You go see Steve."
Yeah.
And I took her word for it. She's worked in Pilates and wellbeing for a long time, long before me, and I trusted her. So, yeah. And
then you came. So let's talk about what were your specific pain points. But what was going on for you at the time? Because as we worked through, that was initially the reason you come was for the polycystic ovaries and the fibroids and period pains. But then as we worked through that, it connected to other things like your childhood trauma, your PTSD, your road accident. There was also another issue as well, wasn't there, where you went to the hospital recently with a lung problem. Where you couldn't breathe. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit quicker as well?
So what had happened was I saw you and you did really great work with the polycystic ovaries, and the thing that affected me the most was reduced my anxiety. I had some social anxieties going on, particularly after the pandemic, was feeling disconnected from other people, and that really helped. So everything was calmer. And I said, "Brilliant, see you after Christmas maybe." Hadn't seen you left it for a bit because I felt like I was doing really well. Left it for a bit, started watching the news.
Yeah.
And worrying about threats of nuclear war and so on, and how that would affect how I could care for my children and keep them alive and safe and well. That resulted in me going to A&E with chest pains. I didn't realise it was connected to the news until I spoke to you, and it made sense, complete sense. But I went to A&E and they did all their assessments and their scans and said, "You're fine, take some ibuprofen and go. It could be pleurisy, but just off you go."
And how long were you at the hospital? Was it like 13 hours, wasn't it? You was there for...
Yeah, a whole day.
Yeah.
A whole day.
Yeah.
It was exhausting.
Yeah, and then you decided to then reach out to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which I found the problem straight away.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we got rid of it.
Didn't take long at all.
No, got it straight away, and then it was literally within 1 hour, didn't we? We managed to, maybe 2 hours, we got rid of all of that for you, and you no longer had it. So let's talk about your specific pain points again. So how was it affecting you in your life?
What, the anxiety?
Well, all of it. So you've had several things. How was it affecting your life, like home life, work life, being a mum, socially? I mean, all of these things have an adverse effect on us in our daily lives.
Yeah, absolutely. So mum life, for example, when you have siblings, there are always going to be little arguments that go on and so on. Yeah. I think after working with you, my oldest did comment and say, "How are you so calm?" Because I could just manage their behaviours or help them, support them with their emotional development whilst feeling absolutely fine myself. So I wasn't being triggered in the same way that maybe I was when before I worked with you. Which was
So
brilliant.
your pain points were you were struggling to be a mum, you was being triggered, it was affecting your anxiety, you was struggling.
Yeah.
That's what was going on.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I know you said earlier on so you found out about me through a friend that you know and trust, and we both know. But what made you come and see me? There must have been a reason why.
Honestly, it was. She said you go see Steve, but with such conviction.
Yeah.
Just you go see Steve, he'll sort you out. She didn't have to go into detail. I looked at your card and said, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Healing the mind.
Yes.
And I had been listening to podcasts and so on about the way our minds work and so on. And so everything that you said on your website and on your card, it already resonated with me. I was ready. I was all ready to learn how to heal things, not just know about what was going on, but actually how to heal it.
Yeah. Yeah, because we have this misconception that as long as we understand and we know what the label is, somehow that's it. That's all I need to know. And now I've got it, and we don't heal it. We don't actually go back and heal it and get rid of it. Yeah. Which is what I said in the video, because obviously I send you the video and I get you to watch that a couple of times, which is about 45 minutes, and it tells you everything which I've learned and what I had to learn in order to do my own journey, because I'd accumulated loads of stuff, and now I've been able to. So you watched that video, and then obviously you decided then to come and see me.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah, so before that, obviously, did you try anything else? Were there any other therapies that you did? Did you go down any other avenues, other routes?
So when I was at university doing my degree, I tried counselling because...
it's good to talk.
It was completely pointless. It was just annoying. So that I dropped that one pretty quickly, and then I did have some benefit from after the PTSD from the road accident, motor accident. I had EMDR, I think it's called. Yeah. That did calm down that initial stress reaction. But obviously it didn't get rid of it completely because I was still anxious, and then the whole thing got riled up by the pandemic and it just made it worse again. So it did give some initial comfort, but really it didn't solve the problem. It just helped calm me down.
It's like taking an ibuprofen and your headache comes back.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is what some of these therapies are good at, is that they can
take
help
the initial
take
out
the initial
of it.
Absolutely initial out of it. But the problem is, as soon as you're back in the environment, it comes back. Okay, great. Now, what made you decide to work with me after the very first session? Because, like I say before, it's quite an intense session. I shatter your belief systems about how you think and feel, why you think and feel, who you are, and actually everything you think and you know about yourself gets completely blown out the window. And for some people that can be really challenging because they identify with who they think they are, and etc., etc. And sometimes it's really challenging for them, and they may not continue because they can't get their head around it. So having done that, and then we do a little bit of healing in that first session, and then we talk about the brain and the mind. What made you continue after that?
Everything you said made sense, and you elaborated and answered questions regards that initial video that you sent to me. Yeah. So there was a chance for me to say, oh, really? And ask questions as we went through, which is brilliant. And then that night I slept so well. Yeah. And I've been sleepwalking for a long time, and that was just instant. I slept through 8 hours and felt fantastic. So I was like, he's definitely done something here. So let's crack on. Yeah.
So that was the reason why? It's just the
honestly,
sleeping. Yeah,
because sleepwalking's been a big part of my life.
Yeah. Okay, great. So what did you learn in that session?
Oh my goodness. What did I learn? That our illnesses, disease, or anxieties and so on are all as a result of these conflicts or stories that we're telling ourselves. It just all leads towards this, and it amazed me how you could pinpoint, say, if I'd said, all right, because there was this shoulder thing that kept coming up, and you said it was a burden or
burden
injustice.
or injustice.
Yeah, I've been listening. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And even just knowing that on the day-to-day between sessions, I'd feel that and say, right, okay, so what's going on in my head right now?
What do you feel burdened with, or what's the injustice that's going on for you? And then, I mean, knowing that helps, but obviously when we know
when
that,
I see you, I go, can you work?
Yeah, I know. I reckon I need to get rid of it. Yeah. So basically you learn that every part of your body, everything that goes on in you, whatever your illness, pain, whatever's going on for you, is caused by something in your mind that relates to it, and that's what's triggering those pains in your body.
Well, yeah, and I felt that quite literally in sessions with you. You'd be addressing something, and I'd feel pains or sensations moving around my body in reaction to this. I'm a very kind of kinesthetic person with the dancing and the movement, so maybe my body's gone, hey, she's listening now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was just... Yeah.
So basically what you learn is your body, because it doesn't have a voice, is telling you something. Yeah. It's telling you, hang on, we've got a problem that needs to be solved. And that's what we need to do, go and solve the problem, not manage the symptom, but find out that there's actually a cause.
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. So let's move on to the 3 benefits that you've experienced or you've had in your life since you've done the work and started working with me and doing the work with yourself and healing.
Reduced social anxiety.
Yeah.
So there was a point where I was nervous to talk to other parents on the school run.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I remember that one. I remember clearing that for you.
Honestly, things changed so fast.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. It was so helpful. And better communication.
Yeah.
With my children, partner, family, friends. Just easier to actually say what I need, for example, rather than just pushing that all down inside.
Or saying what you don't mean. Yeah. By being authentic.
Yeah. And yeah, calmer overall. I mentioned it already, but my oldest daughter, she noticed it. Just like, really calm. How are you calm? So calm, Mum. Like, so
that's been 3 real positive things for you since doing the work. Great. And so what's it like for you? What's life like for you right now? And what's really changed?
Okay.
How's your life changed? What's great in Emmaline's life?
I spend a lot less, barely any time worrying, because I told myself, and bless her, my mother would told me, you're a worrier. So you believe that story that someone tells you, and then you ruminate, you procrastinate, you self-sabotage, you get stuck in this loop. It's ridiculous. Now... well,
this is what called with beliefs.
Yes, exactly.
Unconscious programming that parents...
Yes, I am. And I'm going to continue doing that. Whereas now I'm feeling more intentional. So if I feel that coming along, snap myself out of it, change my language, change my thoughts, and centre. And then I'm more intentional about what I'm thinking, saying, doing, and it all comes together really.
Yeah, and how's that helped your business? Has that helped you grow your business? Has it helped you in your business?
Yes, I mean, initially, I remember with the first sessions with you in that autumn, I remember I messaged you and said, I just had an influx of clients. My classes are full. They just suddenly started to fill up. So obviously... Law of attraction. The message that I was sending out there
your message
via social media, via email, just verbally, was getting out there, and it was resonating because I was being true to myself. So that was really good.
Yeah, I had a similar experience with a girl who is a massage therapist, and we switched off her money beliefs. So as soon, and they were like, oh, the government's going to take all my money, money's hard to come. She had a whole load of money beliefs. I switched off around 7 or 8 money beliefs, and the following week she was completely booked up. Now, she couldn't get any clients for years, but just switching off those beliefs, all of a sudden, the universe works in strange ways. Next week, fully booked. So our beliefs do create our reality, and I do try and tell people this. It's very difficult for people to grasp that actually what you think and what you feel is actually creating your life experience. It's very, very difficult for people. But there's evidence again of yourself. As soon as you switch something off, all of a sudden
things change.
Things change for you. Yeah, and your environment changes. What about your social life? Has that changed with your friendships and your relationships? Is that better as well?
Yeah. There was a point where I was feeling extremely isolated, and there was an issue in my life that didn't feel that I could trust anyone to talk to them about it, apart from you, because we were in session. And you switched off that isolated feeling, or that feeling that I had to isolate myself, and just instant change. I felt I could talk to people, and then felt more connected, safe, held. It's really, that's changed a lot, because now I feel.
So basically, you just feel more confident in yourself, more empowered, happier. That's a bit of a bugger, isn't it? Don't want that in your life.
I was to be happy.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is as well, I mean, the other thing as well is you also learnt about watching the news, and how watching the news and the information that we are...
Total waste of time.
Yeah. Well, it made you sick.
Yeah.
It made you sick. What you saw on the news made you sick because you feared...
Sick with worry.
Yeah, and the thing is like, again, this is another thing, you had a fear of death. You had a fear of death for yourself and the fear of death for your children, and the fear of death conflict affects the lungs. And so that's what basically happened. Your lungs and your chest got affected through a fear of death conflict, or the worry or the fear of death. Actually, we call it a conflict, but it's just the belief that you have a fear of death. Now that signal in your brain now just telling Emmaline's lungs to play up, which it did. You ended up caused inflammation. You've gone to the hospital, and then as soon as you come to me, and I said, when did it start? I watched the news, great, it was a fear of death, we switched it off, and within an hour or so, hour and a half maybe, all of those are gone, and all of a sudden you're no longer in it, just in an hour and a half. No tablets, no exercise, no anything, just get rid of the conflict. And it's the same for every organ in our body. So I would imagine that's quite a good learning as well, is actually recognising that the information, your environment, the information, what you're watching, who you're with, is actually what makes you sick. And we have to be very, very careful about that.
Yes, who you surround yourself with as well.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Awesome, great. So, so what's surprised you the most, and what's made you the happiest?
How quickly you could heal things.
Yeah.
Hour and a half versus 13 hours in A&E.
Yeah. Which, well, they didn't heal you in 13 hours.
They just diagnosed me with inflammation. And I was like, I knew that. I could feel it. And then, as mentioned before, the improvement in my relationships. So with my children, they feel 100% safe to be themselves. So if they're struggling with something emotionally, they are allowed to express it with me, which is a really important thing, because, if you're struggling yourself with your own emotions, how on earth can you be there to hold your children or whoever
constructively?
Hold space for them.
Yeah, exactly.
And give them to express it.
And be in the right place to give them the right information and support. Yeah. So, I get that.
It's made a big difference. I mean, you can't,
You find it difficult, aren't you, to explain?
Yeah, just how much of a difference that has made. Being that my children are 5 and 8, so they're at that really young age, they're developing, they're at school, so they're having all this extra input, and they come home, and sometimes it's like Coke bottle, peppermint in there, they come home and let rip, because they know they're safe to. Yeah. They're safe to just let that come out, and then I
would imagine, the support element, because now you're not being triggered by that. No. You've actually got time, and you're actually listening to their wants, needs and requirements, and able to act accordingly, which works for them. Because what we try and do is when we're in the wrong place emotionally, we shut them down. Mm-hmm. Don't be silly, be quiet, go to your room, I'm too busy, I haven't got time.
It's all about me.
It's all about me, and not about listening to the children. So that's great that just doing this has helped you become, I would in essence say, a better mum or a better parent.
I think so.
Yeah, great. So that's a really good positive, and I would imagine that has made you happy, because any mum wants the best for their children. Okay, so now in 3 words, we're going to go to in 3 words, what would you describe, or how would you describe your experience with me, with the work we do? Give me 3 words.
I had one in my head already, which was transformative. So big change there. I'm gonna have to think about The other two.
Can I do the other two? Remember I'm on video?
Special.
Yeah.
And unique. So I've had a lot of interesting life experiences through all these creative dance and arty things. However, I've never come across something like this, which can just change everything. So
in an instant?
Yeah, and almost easily. You make it seem very easy. I know it's probably not.
It is easy.
But
well, no, it isn't. I mean, it takes a lot of time. And
you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, and also you've got to recognise, or people listen, I've been pretty much through everything. I say, other than being murdered and kidnapped and losing a limb, I've pretty much experienced or been subjected to everything. And so when people come and see me, it's very easy for me to identify what's going on and where they're at and what's caused it. So I can just go, I know, nowhere to go for that. And then using the system, be able to literally reprogram your mind, reprogram your emotions, and while off you go, and life's great and tip top. So that's why. But in essence, it is easy. You've just got to want it, and this is what I think. What I admire about you and everybody else that comes to me is you want it. You want to get better. You want to either change your life, and you want to be a better person, and you want to be more successful. And unfortunately, most people keep on doing the same things over and over and over again and never get anywhere. They're stuck in if it's not working, stop doing it. I say it to everybody. If it's not working, stop doing it. Change or nothing will change. And when I say change or nothing change, you have to change what's going on in here. If you don't change what's going on in here, then you'll just keep repeating patterns and loops, which is what you said earlier on. And that's the beauty of this, because it enables us to do that and helps you grow and become a better mum or a better person, more successful. So that's in essence it's easy for me because obviously I do it every day as well, like you say. Great. So we'll finish off with the last question. So if you was to recommend a friend, what would you actually say? What would be your how would you articulate that to your friend?
I would say you don't need to suffer anymore. You really don't. Go see Steve. You'll find it very relaxing. You'll feel very safe, very supported, and you will be amazed at the changes that happen so very quickly. You have to want to do it.
Yeah.
You have to want to do the work. So if you're ready to stop being stuck in...
And stubborn as well.
Yes, because some people identify, unfortunately, so much so with their illness or whatever they're dealing with, that it's like that's part of their personality now. And to give that up, for some, seems, because, I work in the wellbeing industry, for some people, that's their crutch, that's part of who they are. But you don't need that.
Yeah.
You can be happy. You absolutely can be happy.
Yeah, and healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy, happy, and wise.
Yeah. And then, then you go enjoy all of the things. You come and do Pilates with me because you like moving, having fun. You like stretching out a little bit. You like getting stronger. But I'm not here to fix you in there. That's why I send people to you.
Yeah.
And then they can come to me and they can genuinely enjoy themselves when they're moving.
Yeah, great. So that's really, really great. And well, thanks ever so much for saying those lovely, kind words. So I just want to elaborate on you, really. So you've got Green Room Health. Tell the clients a little bit about where you are, what you do, how you can help them, and what the benefits are of working with you.
Okay, so as I said, I've been teaching Pilates for 10 years.
Yeah.
I trained with a well-renowned company called Merrithew in the Stop Pilates method. And if you don't know what Pilates is, it's a method that is around about 100 years old now. A method of movement where you learn to breathe whilst moving in order to help strengthen your core. Think of it as your corset that holds you upright and supports you to move in all the myriad of ways that you need to. Say, for example, you play football, you go...
I do now, to start again.
So if you were to feel off balance or slightly off kilter, shall we say, or not strong round the centre, you would find it hard to move your limbs around in a coordinated manner, or you might fall over a little bit more. So you come and see someone like me to learn to find a little bit of pelvic floor support. I'm not a specialist, you go see someone else for that, a physio, but just to access that and your deep core strength, and then learn how to move in a coordinated manner, which will have a knock-on effect. You'll feel more, if you want to, more graceful, lighter on your feet, and the method's really fun to learn as well, because it's like a little ladder. You work your way up. So you start with the base level work. Once you feel supported around your centre, then you move onwards to more challenging, fun, I think of as fun exercises. So that's the Pilates side of things. I still get to dance because I teach bar. I have a membership where we do an online membership. You can do it on demand or live via Zoom. So we do Pilates, we do bar, which is like a ballet bar, but more accessible for your average girl or gent if you want to join in. Just got hand weights, leg kicks, plies, knee bends, squats. I've come to love squats now.
So basically you cover pretty much everything, really.
And fascial movement as well. So I did a course 3 years ago all about your connective tissue and how you can make your body feel easier, more slidey and glidey, and also how to be a bit springier. So rather than just stepping around the puddle, you might spring over the top of it. You can catch that cup more easily. If it falls, you just feel a little bit more youthful and springy. It's a really fun method.
So anyway, you're going to like loads of human bunny rabbits soon, like
I know.
bouncing around and
walking around Chelmsford with
exactly. No, I mean, I've done a couple of one-on-ones with you now, and I've identified a few things.
You are finding your ribs hip connection.
Find my ribs hip connection. Yeah, so I found it beneficial, and it is helping me, and I thoroughly recommend going and working with Emmaline. She's an absolute star, a beautiful, bright light, and she really does know her stuff. So I just want to say thank you, really. Thank you for... Oh, by the way, where can they find your online... your website?
UK. And if you click on book a class, there's my timetable on there. But if you want to join the online membership, you click on mindful movement. And then you'll find that there. And I've got a special offer on if you want to have a month's trial.
There you go. Yeah, I'll take that up. So, okay, well, thanks again, Emily. It's been really great. Thanks for giving up your time. I know you're a very busy lady, and it's really good that you're able to share your information to other people, because a lot of people find it very difficult, and, you know, unless we do this, people aren't aware of what's actually possible and what's currently what they're doing isn't actually probably not working for them, and there is a solution. So really, honestly, thanks ever so much for sharing your story and opening up and letting everybody know who you are. So I really appreciate it. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you're interested in working with me and healing anything from your past, if you've got any ailments, illnesses, mental health issues, PTSD, trauma, anxiety, suffering from depression, then please be mindful that there is a solution, and we can get rid of that permanently, and you can go on to live a great, wonderful, happy life, be a better mum, better person, and more successful in life. So thanks again for watching. My name's Stephen Jakes, and until the next video, take care and all the best. Goodbye.